Consistency is the bridge between your goals and your achievements. Force yourself to cross that bridge every single day. The road to success is paved with consistent effort. Force yourself to walk it, even when it's hard, and even when you don't feel like it. If you're not consistent, you're allowing your emotions to control your actions. And that's a recipe for failure. If you're not consistent, you'll never see the real growth. Because success is built on daily efforts, not random bursts of motivation. If you're not consistent, you're giving up control over your future, and your potential will stay locked inside. If you're not consistent, you're making excuses while others are making progress. Remember, consistency is what separates the dreamers from the achievers. Do you ever feel stuck, like you're not moving forward no matter how much you want to? Have you wondered why some people seem to achieve so much while others stay in the same place? The truth is, it's not about talent or luck. It's about consistency. Imagine what your life could look like if you stopped starting over and stayed committed to one thing. In this video, we'll break down why forcing yourself to stay consistent is the ultimate game changer for your goals, your habits, and your future. Stay with me, because what you'll learn here might just be the key to everything you've been searching for. Now let's dive in. Number 1, acknowledge the struggles of being consistent. Consistency is not easy. It's not meant to be. It demands discipline, patience, and relentless effort. Every person who has achieved greatness has faced the same challenge. You know the feeling. You start something with excitement and determination. You tell yourself, this time will be different. But then, as the days go by, the motivation fades. The obstacles begin to feel heavier, and the voice in your head whispers excuses. It tells you, you've done enough, or you can try again tomorrow. That's where most people stop. That's the breaking point. But here's the truth. Consistency separates those who dream from those who achieve. The first step is admitting it's hard. Because if you deny the struggle, you can't prepare for it. Consistency isn't about being perfect every day. It's about showing up when it's inconvenient, when you're tired, when you don't feel like it. Most people quit because they think consistency means they must always feel motivated. But feelings are unreliable. You'll feel tired, bored, or frustrated. That's normal. Success doesn't care about your feelings. It only rewards the person who shows up, regardless of how they feel. Consistency requires you to be honest with yourself. Ask yourself, why do I struggle to stick with this? Maybe it's distractions. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's the comfort of staying where you are. Recognize your patterns. Write them down if you have to. Every time you break your momentum, there's a reason. If you don't confront those reasons, they'll keep controlling you. When you truly face the reasons behind your inconsistency, you give yourself the power to change them. If distractions hold you back, identify them. If fear stops you, understand it. If comfort tempts you, remind yourself that growth only happens outside your comfort zone. The truth might hurt, but it's also the key to moving forward. You can't fix what you won't face. To build consistency, you need a clear purpose. Why are you doing this? If your goal is weak, your effort will be weak. But if your reason is strong, it'll carry you through the hard days. Don't just think about the goal, think about the person you want to become. Imagine the life you want, the respect you'll earn, the freedom you'll have. That vision is your anchor. When everything else tries to pull you away, hold on to that. Clarity is powerful. Vague goals lead to vague results. Be specific about what you want. Don't just say, I want to get fit. Say, I want to lose 10 pounds in 3 months to feel healthier and more confident. A clear purpose gives you direction, and direction keeps you consistent. There's no shortcut to consistency. You have to force yourself. Discipline is uncomfortable, but it's worth it. Think of it this way. Every time you stick with something when it's hard, you're building a stronger version of yourself. Every time you quit, you're reinforcing the habit of giving up. Which person do you want to be? Consistency also requires focus. You can't chase every goal at once. Pick 1 or 2 things that matter most and commit to them. If you spread yourself too thin, you'll burn out. Focus allows you to give your best effort. It's not about how many things you start. It's about how many things you finish. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to do too much. They set 10 goals at once and then feel overwhelmed. Don't do that. Start small. Choose one habit, one task, or one goal. Master that, and then move on to the next. Small wins build momentum. You won't always get it right. You'll mess up. You'll skip a day or fall short. But that's not failure. Failure is stopping completely. Get back on track the next day. The person who keeps going, even after slipping, is still moving forward. When you slip, remind yourself of your progress. Look back at how far you've come, even if it feels small. Celebrate the fact that you're trying, because trying is better than standing still. Progress isn't always visible, but it's always happening. Success is a result of small actions repeated daily. It's not one big leap. It's hundreds of steps over time. Each step feels small, but they add up. Think about it. Every time you do the work, you're investing in your future. Every time you skip it, you're delaying your success. The choice is always yours. Consistency is about commitment, not to the task, but to yourself. Ask yourself, am I worth the effort? Because that's what this comes down to. When you stay consistent, you're proving to yourself that you matter. You're showing that your goals, your growth, and your dreams are worth fighting for. You owe it to yourself to keep going, even when it's hard. You owe it to the version of you who started this journey, full of hope and determination. Don't let that person down. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Those things don't exist. What exists is today, this moment. You have a choice right now to take one small step forward. Don't overthink it. Don't let your doubts stop you. Just do it. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Consistency isn't glamorous. It's not exciting, but it's powerful. It's the foundation of success, the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. You can't control every outcome, but you can control your effort. And when you control your effort, the results will follow. Think about this. What kind of life do you want? The life you have now is a result of your past choices. The life you want tomorrow will be a result of the choices you make today. Consistency isn't just about goals. It's about creating a life you're proud of. So, decide today. Decide that no matter how hard it gets, no matter how long it takes, you will keep going. Not because someone is watching, not because you're guaranteed success, but because you owe it to yourself. That's what consistency is, choosing to believe in yourself and your future every single day. Number 2, show up even on your worst days. Some days feel impossible. You wake up feeling drained, and every part of you wants to stay in bed, avoid the world, and just give up for the day. Those are the days that test you the most. It's easy to show up when everything is going well, but it's the hard days that define who you are. On your worst days, the temptation to give in is the loudest. It's when excuses seem the most reasonable. The voice in your head tells you it's okay to skip this one time. But this is exactly when showing up matters the most. When everything feels like it's falling apart, showing up becomes an act of defiance. It's a way of telling yourself, I'm stronger than this moment. You might not be able to give your best effort on those days, but even giving half your effort is better than nothing. Every time you show up on your worst days, you're proving to yourself that no obstacle is too big to hold you back. You're telling the world and yourself that no matter what, you won't be broken. On the days when nothing goes as planned, remember that consistency isn't about perfection. It's about presence. You don't have to be perfect to keep moving forward. Even if you stumble, even if your effort is messy, the simple act of showing up keeps your momentum alive. Momentum is powerful because it builds over time. Even the smallest actions, repeated consistently, can lead to massive changes. On the worst days, your focus should not be on how much you accomplish, but on the fact that you showed up at all. Your worst days often teach you the most. They force you to dig deeper, to find strength you didn't know you had. They strip away the comfort and demand resilience. Without these days, growth wouldn't happen. Growth is born out of struggle, not ease. Every time you push through, you're building mental toughness. You're training yourself to persevere no matter the circumstance. And that resilience carries over into every area of your life, making you stronger and more capable than ever. Think about it this way. If you can show up when you feel broken, tired, or unmotivated, what can stop you? If you can keep going when you have every reason to quit, imagine how unstoppable you'll be when things get easier. The hard days are like resistance in a workout. They're uncomfortable, but they make you stronger. The more resistance you face, the more you grow. And every time you face that resistance, you're proving to yourself that you're unshakable. The problem is that most people quit on their worst days. They convince themselves that skipping one day won't matter. But it does. One skipped day becomes 2, then 3, and before you know it, the habit is gone. Success isn't about doing things perfectly. It's about refusing to stop no matter what. It's about pushing through the discomfort, knowing that each step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. Quitting is easy, but persistence is what separates winners from everyone else. Showing up doesn't mean pretending everything is okay. It means doing what you can with what you have. If you're struggling, acknowledge it. Be honest with yourself, but don't let the struggle become an excuse. Even the smallest effort can keep you in the game. If you can't give 100%, give 10%. If you can't give 10%, give 1%. What matters is that you don't let the day defeat you. On your worst days, focus on the basics. Simplify your tasks. Break them down into the smallest possible steps. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. Just don't stop. Movement, no matter how small, is still progress. Each small step forward builds confidence. Each little win reminds you that you're capable of more than you think. The truth is, your worst days won't last forever. They feel overwhelming in the moment, but they pass. And when they do, you'll be grateful you didn't give up. The effort you put in on those days will become the foundation of your success. It's like building a wall. Each small action adds a brick. And over time, that wall becomes something strong and unbreakable. Showing up on your worst days is about proving to yourself that you're stronger than your circumstances. It's about refusing to let a bad day turn into a bad week, a bad month, or a bad life. Every time you push through, you're taking control of your future. You're showing yourself that you're capable of handling anything that comes your way. No one feels invincible every day. No one is immune to failure or struggle. But the difference between success and mediocrity is the willingness to show up anyway. When you push yourself to keep going, even when it's hard, you're setting yourself apart from the rest. You're showing the world and yourself that you won't back down, no matter what. Your worst days are not the enemy. They are opportunities in disguise. They test your commitment, your discipline, and your belief in yourself. They reveal what you're truly capable of. So, the next time you feel like giving up, remind yourself that showing up is the hardest part, but it's also the most important. Also, choose to face the hard days with courage. Show up, even if it's not pretty, even if it's not perfect. Because in the end, the person who shows up, no matter what, is the one who wins. And remember this, every time you show up, you're rewriting your story. You're proving that you're more than your circumstances, stronger than your excuses, and braver than your fears. Every step you take on your worst days is a step toward the person you're meant to become. So keep showing up, because one day you'll look back and realize that the days you wanted to quit the most were the days that made you unstoppable. Number 3, do the hardest thing first. Every day offers 2 roads. One is comfortable, lined with small, easy tasks that make you feel busy but don't move the needle. The other is uncomfortable, marked by a single hard task that feels daunting but carries the weight of real progress. Most people take the first road, seeking comfort, avoiding resistance, and convincing themselves they're being productive. But this choice is a trap. Avoiding what's hard doesn't solve the problem. It only pushes it further into the day, stealing your energy, focus, and confidence. The toughest challenge isn't just a task. It's a test. It's where your fears, doubts, and insecurities come to light. It's the voice in your head saying, maybe later. But later never comes. Instead, the hardest task grows heavier. It lingers in the back of your mind, clouding your focus and draining your energy. And when you finally reach it, you're too exhausted to give it your best shot. That's the cycle of avoidance. It's comfortable in the moment, but costly in the long run. Breaking this cycle is simple, but it's not easy. You have to choose discomfort. You have to choose the path most people run from. Starting your day with the hardest thing rewires your mindset. It shifts your focus from avoiding discomfort to embracing it. You stop running from challenges and start running toward them. This isn't just a productivity hack. It's a life-changing habit. The hardest task is often the one that carries the most fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of the unknown. But here's the truth. Fear only grows when you avoid it. When you face it, it shrinks. The hardest thing is rarely as bad as it seems. The dread you feel before starting is almost always worse than the task itself. Once you begin, momentum takes over, and you realize it's manageable. You realize the fear was a lie. Starting with the hardest thing isn't just about getting it out of the way. It's about setting a tone for your day. It's about proving to yourself that you're capable of doing what's difficult. That confidence carries over into everything else. When you conquer the hardest task first, the rest of the day feels easier. It's not just a win, it's a mindset shift. You go from reactive to proactive, from avoiding challenges to seeking them out. Imagine waking up every day and knowing the hardest thing is behind you. Imagine the mental clarity that comes from not carrying that weight. When you start with the hardest task, you free your mind. You remove the nagging thoughts that distract you from everything else. You create space for creativity, focus, and growth. You don't just check a box. You create momentum that fuels the rest of your day. This principle isn't just for work. It applies to every area of your life. Think about the conversations you avoid because they're uncomfortable. The decisions you postpone because they're risky. The habits you neglect because they're hard to maintain. These are your hardest tasks. They're the things that hold you back. Not because they're impossible, but because they require effort and courage. The longer you avoid them, the bigger they become. But when you face them, they lose their power. Every hard task is an opportunity to grow. It's a chance to build resilience, discipline, and self-trust. When you tackle the hardest thing first, you send a message to yourself. I can handle this. I'm not afraid of discomfort. I'm willing to do what's necessary, even when it's not easy. That's where growth happens. Not in avoiding challenges, but in facing them head on. Think about the people you admire, the ones who seem unstoppable, unshakable, and fearless. They're not born that way. They've trained themselves to do what others won't. They've built their success on a foundation of hard choices and tough actions. They don't shy away from the hardest things. They seek them out. They know that the path of least resistance leads to mediocrity, and they refuse to settle for that. The hardest tasks are the ones that define your day, your week, and your life. They're the moments where you decide who you want to be. Will you be someone who avoids discomfort or someone who embraces it? Will you let fear dictate your actions, or will you take control? These are the questions you answer every time you choose to do the hardest thing first. Doing the hardest thing first doesn't mean doing it perfectly. It doesn't mean you won't struggle or stumble along the way. But it does mean you're willing to try. It means you're willing to put in the effort, even when it's uncomfortable. That willingness is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who don't. Procrastination is the enemy of progress. It's the illusion of comfort that hides the reality of stress and regret. When you delay the hardest task, you're not avoiding discomfort. You're prolonging it. You're letting it control your thoughts and emotions. But when you take action, you take back control. You prove to yourself that you're stronger than your excuses, that you're capable of handling whatever comes your way. Life isn't about avoiding the hard stuff. It's about mastering it. The hardest things aren't obstacles. They're opportunities. They're the moments that test your character and build your strength. They're the challenges that force you to grow and adapt. When you tackle them first, you're not just checking a box, you're transforming yourself. You're becoming the kind of person who faces life's challenges with courage and determination. This mindset doesn't just happen overnight. It's a habit you build one day at a time. It starts with a single choice to do the hardest thing first. Each time you make that choice, you're training your mind to embrace discomfort and prioritize growth. You're rewiring your brain to see challenges as opportunities, not obstacles. Over time, this habit becomes second nature, and the hardest things stop feeling so hard. The benefits of this habit extend far beyond productivity. It improves your confidence, your focus, and your overall well-being. It reduces stress and anxiety by removing the mental clutter that comes from avoiding what's hard. It gives you a sense of accomplishment and purpose that carries over into every aspect of your life. It's not just about getting things done. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. Doing the hardest thing first is a discipline, and like any discipline, it requires practice. Some days will be easier than others. Some tasks will feel overwhelming, but every time you make the choice to start with what's hard, you're building your resilience. You're proving to yourself that you can handle anything life throws at you. And that's a skill that will serve you in every area of your life. At its core, this principle is about taking ownership of your life. It's about recognizing that you have the power to choose how you spend your time and energy. It's about refusing to let fear or discomfort dictate your actions. When you choose to do the hardest thing first, you're taking control of your day and your destiny. You're choosing progress over procrastination, growth over comfort, and courage over fear. So the next time you find yourself staring down a list of tasks, don't start with what's easy. Don't fall into the trap of comfort and convenience. Look at the hardest thing on your list and face it head on. Embrace the discomfort. Lean into the challenge. Because when you do, you're not just getting things done, you're becoming unstoppable. Number 4, stop looking for motivation. Stop waiting for motivation to show up. It's not a reliable friend, and it's certainly not going to knock on your door every morning. People believe they need to feel motivated to start, but the truth is, action comes first. Motivation is fickle. It's a fleeting emotion that's often there when you least need it and missing when you need it the most. Yet so many waste precious time chasing it, hoping it'll strike like lightning and transform their lives. Stop looking for motivation. It's a trap. The only thing you need to get started is a decision, not a feeling. Motivation tricks you into thinking that change starts with inspiration. But that's a lie. Change starts with discipline. Discipline is steady, reliable, and always under your control. You don't wait for discipline, you build it. Discipline doesn't care about your mood, your circumstances, or how tired you feel. It shows up when you decide to show up. The problem with relying on motivation is that it keeps you passive, waiting for something external to spark action. But discipline, that comes from within. It doesn't ask if you're ready. It demands that you show up anyway. When you stop looking for motivation, you start focusing on habits. Habits are what build consistency, and consistency beats bursts of motivation every time. A small, repeated action is far more powerful than a sudden wave of inspiration. The person who goes to the gym 3 times a week, rain or shine, will always outlast the one who waits to feel pumped up to work out. Successful people don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems. They create routines that align with their goals, and they stick to them even when they don't feel like it. Motivation fades. It's an emotional high that wears off, leaving you back where you started. But habits grow. They're like seeds you plant and water every day. At first, the growth seems invisible, but over time, they transform your life. When you focus on habits instead of motivation, you stop chasing highs and start building a foundation. You don't need a motivational speech to brush your teeth every morning because it's a habit. The same principle applies to anything you want to achieve. Make it a habit, and it becomes automatic. Another reason to stop looking for motivation is that it gives you an excuse. It's easy to say, I'm just not motivated today, and skip what you know needs to be done. But excuses don't build results. Taking action does. When you rely on motivation, you give yourself permission to procrastinate. You let yourself off the hook because you don't feel like it. But feelings are unreliable. They fluctuate with the weather, your mood, or even how much sleep you got last night. Action, on the other hand, is a choice you can make regardless of how you feel. There's also a myth that motivated people are naturally successful. But look closer, and you'll see that the most successful people aren't motivated all the time. They have off days, just like everyone else. What sets them apart is their ability to act even when they don't want to. They don't sit around waiting for motivation to hit. They take the first step, no matter how small, and let the momentum carry them forward. This is the secret. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. Think of it like pushing a car. When the car is stationary, it takes a lot of effort to get it moving. But once it's rolling, even a small push keeps it going. That's what action does. The hardest part is starting, but once you start, it gets easier. Waiting for motivation is like standing in front of the car, hoping it'll start rolling on its own. It won't. You have to push, and once you do, you'll find the strength to keep going. The world sells you the idea that motivation is the key to success. It's why motivational videos and quotes are so popular. They make you feel good in the moment, but don't create lasting change. Motivation is like sugar. It gives you a quick burst of energy, but leaves you crashing soon after. What you need is protein discipline, habits, and consistent effort. These are the things that sustain you over the long haul. Stop chasing sugar highs and start building a steady, sustainable diet of daily action. When you stop looking for motivation, you also stop comparing yourself to others. Social media is full of people posting their highlight reels, making it seem like they're always motivated and crushing their goals. But what you don't see are the days they struggled, the times they failed, and the moments they wanted to quit. Comparing your journey to someone else's curated version of reality only drains your energy. Instead of looking outward, focus inward. Your progress doesn't depend on how motivated someone else appears. It depends on your willingness to show up day after day. Here's the harsh truth. Life doesn't care if you're motivated. Deadlines don't wait, bills don't pause, and opportunities don't linger until you feel ready. The world keeps moving, whether you're motivated or not. The sooner you accept this, the sooner you can take control of your life. Waiting for motivation is a passive way to live. Taking action is how you take ownership of your future. It's how you stop reacting to life and start creating it. Motivation also puts too much focus on the outcome. People get motivated when they think about the result: losing weight, making money, achieving a goal. But the result isn't what gets you there. The process does. Focusing on the outcome can make the work feel overwhelming, like a mountain you'll never climb. But when you focus on the process, you break it down into manageable steps. You stop worrying about the top of the mountain and start concentrating on the next step. And step by step, you get there. When you let go of the need for motivation, you also let go of perfectionism. Motivation often comes with unrealistic expectations. You feel inspired, so you set a big goal. But when the initial excitement fades, the goal feels impossible. This leads to frustration and quitting. But when you focus on discipline and small, consistent actions, you remove the pressure to be perfect. You realize it's not about doing everything at once. It's about doing something every day. Progress, no matter how small, is still progress. The beauty of not relying on motivation is that it frees you from the cycle of highs and lows. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment or the right mood. You can start now, exactly where you are with what you have. Action isn't about being ready. It's about being willing to try, to fail, to learn, and to keep going. This is where true growth happens. Not in bursts of inspiration, but in the quiet, consistent effort of showing up every day. Number 5, learn to push through pain. Pain is a part of life, yet so many people try to avoid it at all costs. The truth is, growth only happens when you face it head on. Pain is uncomfortable, but it's necessary. It's the fire that shapes you, the test that strengthens you, and the teacher that reveals who you are. Every successful person has walked through pain. They didn't run from it or wait for it to pass. They pushed through it. Pain is temporary, but the lessons it leaves behind last forever. If you want to grow, you must learn to endure it and let it mold you. Pushing through pain starts with understanding that it's not your enemy. Pain signals that you're stepping outside your comfort zone, where real change happens. Comfort keeps you stagnant, while pain forces you to evolve. The more you resist it, the longer it controls you. But when you embrace pain, you take away its power. You stop being a victim and start becoming a warrior. Pain doesn't define you. Your response to it does. Strength comes from facing what hurts, not from running away. Many people mistake pain as a sign to quit, but quitting only ensures that you'll stay where you are. Pain is not a stop sign, it's a guidepost. It's there to show you what needs to change and where you need to grow. Whether it's physical pain, emotional pain, or mental struggle, every bit of it has a purpose. It's there to teach you resilience, patience, and grit. Every time you push through pain, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than your struggles. And with every victory, you build unshakable confidence. Pain tests your limits, but it also expands them. When you push through pain, you discover strength you didn't know you had. It's in those moments of hardship that you find out what you're truly capable of. You don't grow by staying comfortable. Growth comes from breaking, healing, and becoming stronger. Pain is the price of progress, and there's no shortcut around it. If you want something you've never had, you have to endure something you've never experienced. It's not easy, but it's worth it. One of the hardest parts of pushing through pain is the mental battle. Your mind will tell you to stop, to give up, to retreat back to comfort. It will amplify every ache, every struggle, and every doubt. But your mind is not always right. You have to control it before it controls you. Pain is temporary, but the regret of giving up lasts a lifetime. Remind yourself that every step forward, no matter how small, is a step closer to victory. Silence the noise in your head and focus on the goal. Pain isn't fair, but life isn't fair either. Complaining about it won't make it go away. You can either let pain break you or let it build you. The choice is yours. The people who achieve greatness are not the ones who avoid pain. They're the ones who accept it, endure it, and rise above it. Pain will always be there, but so will your strength. Every time you overcome it, you become a little more unstoppable. You don't have to like pain, but you do have to respect what it can teach you. The world often glorifies success, but ignores the pain it took to get there. Behind every triumph is a story of struggle, sacrifice, and suffering. No one gets to the top without scars. The pain you feel today will become the pride you carry tomorrow. It's not about being fearless. It's about being brave enough to face your fears. Pain doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're alive, trying and fighting for something better. Remember, the most valuable lessons come from the hardest experiences. Pushing through pain doesn't mean ignoring it or pretending it's not there. It means acknowledging it, accepting it, and using it as fuel to keep going. Pain is a signal, not a stop. It's a reminder that you're alive, that you're moving forward, and that you're capable of enduring more than you think. Pain shapes you, but it doesn't have to break you. When you stop seeing pain as an obstacle and start seeing it as an opportunity, everything changes. You learn to persevere, to adapt, and to thrive despite the challenges. Pain doesn't get easier, but you get stronger. Over time, you build a tolerance, a mental toughness that carries you through life's battles. The same pain that used to stop you becomes the pain you barely notice. Every challenge you overcome adds to your strength. You stop fearing pain and start welcoming it as a sign that you're on the right path. Pushing through pain isn't just about enduring, it's about transforming. It's about turning your struggles into stepping stones and your hardships into milestones. There's a difference between pain that harms and pain that helps. Not all pain is destructive. Some pain is necessary to strip away the layers of fear, doubt, and weakness that hold you back. It exposes your true potential. The pain of growth is far better than the pain of regret. One is temporary and leads to progress. The other lasts forever and keeps you trapped. Every time you choose to endure, you take a step away from regret and a step closer to greatness. When pain hits, it often feels like it will never end. But pain is not permanent. It's a passing phase, a chapter in your story, not the whole book. The toughest moments often lead to the most profound transformations. Those who have survived the hardest trials often emerge with the most resilience and wisdom. It's not the pain itself that defines your story, but how you choose to write the next chapter. Endurance builds character, and character shapes destiny. The process of pushing through pain also builds empathy and understanding. Those who have walked through the fire often carry a deeper appreciation for life and for the struggles of others. Pain humbles you. It strips away arrogance and forces you to face your vulnerabilities. But in doing so, it also makes you stronger, wiser, and more grounded. Pain doesn't diminish you, it refines you. It clears away the distractions and brings your focus back to what truly matters. Pain is universal, but how you respond to it is what sets you apart. Everyone feels pain, but not everyone grows from it. Pain doesn't discriminate, but success often depends on how well you handle it. The ability to push through pain is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. It's not about being perfect or never falling. It's about getting back up every time you do. Each setback becomes a setup for a comeback. Each scar becomes a badge of honor. Pushing through pain is not about being reckless or ignoring your limits. It's about recognizing the difference between the discomfort that comes with growth and the damage that leads to harm. Knowing your boundaries and respecting them is part of the process. Pain without purpose is suffering, but pain with a purpose is progress. Understanding this distinction is what turns pain from an obstacle into a tool. Your relationship with pain will define the quality of your life. If you fear it, you'll avoid challenges and miss out on growth. If you embrace it, you'll find strength and discover potential you didn't know existed. Pain doesn't care about your excuses, your fears, or your doubts. It's indifferent, but it's also fair. It gives everyone the same opportunity to rise above it. The question is not whether you'll face pain, but how you'll respond when it comes. Number 6, never let one miss turn into 2. Missing a step or failing once is a part of life. It's unavoidable and natural. But letting one miss spiral into 2, then 3, is how people get stuck in cycles of failure. One mistake doesn't define you, but the patterns you allow do. It's not the single misstep that ruins progress. It's the habit of letting it repeat. Discipline isn't about never making mistakes. It's about recognizing them and course correcting immediately. The moment you accept one slip up as the start of a downward spiral, you lose control. But if you treat every mistake as a chance to learn and recalibrate, you regain power over your actions and your outcomes. Think about how easy it is to skip one workout, then skip the next day because you already messed up. Or to cheat on one meal and decide the whole week is ruined. These small decisions snowball into larger problems. Missing once is understandable. Missing twice is a choice. Success isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. And consistency only happens when you hold yourself accountable. Every time you break the chain, you weaken your progress. But every time you catch yourself and get back on track, you strengthen your resolve. You prove to yourself that one mistake won't derail your journey. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail isn't talent or resources. It's the ability to bounce back quickly. High achievers don't dwell on their mistakes. They analyze them, adjust, and move forward. They don't let a single bad decision turn into a habit. They know that success is built on resilience, not perfection. The key is not to avoid mistakes, but to avoid the habit of repeating them. Each day, each decision is a fresh start. You're always one good choice away from getting back on track, no matter how far you think you've fallen. When you let one miss become 2, you're teaching your brain that it's okay to quit. You're creating a mental pathway that normalizes giving up. But when you stop the cycle early, you build mental toughness. You show yourself that a single slip-up doesn't mean failure. It's just a momentary pause. The faster you correct yourself, the less damage you do to your momentum. It's not about punishing yourself for the miss. It's about taking responsibility and refusing to let it define your actions moving forward. That's where real discipline comes from. Imagine every miss as a fork in the road. One path leads to getting back on track, while the other leads to further delays and excuses. The choice is always yours. It's not about willpower. It's about making a decision. Will you let the miss control you, or will you take control of the situation? One miss doesn't ruin your goals, but 2 misses can start a trend, and trends shape your life. Don't let a temporary setback turn into a permanent habit. Every time you break the cycle, you're building a future where success is inevitable. Breaking the habit of letting one miss turn into 2 starts with awareness. You have to recognize the moment it happens. Skipping the gym once isn't the problem. It's skipping it twice, then a 3rd time, until it becomes a pattern. Awareness allows you to pause and make a conscious decision. It reminds you that the miss isn't the end. It's just a test of your commitment. When you stay aware, you catch yourself before you slide too far. You take the first step back on track, proving to yourself that you're in control of your actions, not the other way around. Consistency is the foundation of success. And consistency doesn't mean being perfect. It means showing up even after you fall. It means deciding that one miss won't define you. It's not about how often you fail. It's about how often you get back up. People who achieve their goals aren't those who never falter. They're the ones who recover quickly and keep going. They don't let their misses turn into excuses. They use them as fuel to push harder. Every time you refuse to let one miss become 2, you're building a habit of resilience and self-discipline that will serve you for life. Life is full of distractions, temptations, and setbacks. There will always be reasons to skip, to quit, or to justify your mistakes. But those reasons are just noise. What matters is your response. Do you let one bad day become a bad week, or do you reclaim control? Every time you push through, you're proving to yourself that you're stronger than your excuses. You're proving that you can stay on course no matter how many times you slip. The discipline you build from refusing to let one miss turn into two will spill into every area of your life, from work to relationships to personal growth. One of the most powerful tools you have is the ability to reset. It doesn't matter how many times you fall. What matters is how quickly you get back up. Resetting isn't about erasing the mistake. It's about choosing to move forward despite it. It's about telling yourself that one miss doesn't define you. You're not your failures. You're your recoveries. Every time you reset, you're reinforcing the mindset that success is a journey, not a straight line. You're reminding yourself that progress isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. Success is built one decision at a time. Every time you choose to get back on track, you're making an investment in your future. You're proving to yourself that you're capable of change, growth, and perseverance. The road to success is never smooth, but it's always worth it. Don't let one miss turn into two. Catch yourself, correct your course, and keep moving forward. The sooner you act, the less power the miss has over you. And with every recovery, you're building a version of yourself that's unstoppable, resilient, and ready for anything life throws your way. Number 7, commit to a clear vision. A clear vision is the foundation of every great achievement. Without it, you're just drifting through life, reacting to circumstances instead of creating your future. Vision gives you direction, focus, and a purpose to strive for. It's the blueprint of your success, the roadmap that guides your decisions. But a vision isn't enough on its own. You must commit to it fully, with unwavering determination, because half-hearted efforts lead to half-lived lives. Commitment means aligning your actions with your vision every single day, no matter how difficult or uncertain the journey becomes. It means choosing to keep going when the path seems unclear, knowing that your purpose is worth every step, no matter how tough. Without full commitment, you'll just wander, lost in the noise of the world. It's only through commitment that your vision can become more than just a dream. When you commit to a clear vision, you eliminate distractions. You stop wasting time on things that don't align with your goals. You stop saying yes to everything and start saying yes to the right things. Clarity gives you the power to prioritize, to cut through the noise, and to focus on what truly matters. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what moves you closer to your vision. Every choice you make either supports your vision or takes you further away from it. It's about creating momentum by making the right choices, day in and day out. Commitment means making the hard choices, sacrificing comfort for progress, and staying on course even when it's easier to quit. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not talent or luck, but the ability to stay focused on the goal. The ability to shut out the distractions and stay committed to the vision is what separates the dreamers from the doers. A clear vision isn't just about what you want to achieve. It's about who you want to become. It's about defining your values, your purpose, and your ultimate destination. Without this clarity, you're vulnerable to doubt, distractions, and setbacks. But with it, you become unstoppable. Your vision becomes your anchor, your guiding light, and your reason to keep going when the road gets tough. Committing to your vision means embracing the process, not just the outcome. It means trusting that every step, no matter how small, is taking you closer to the life you're building. The vision isn't about a destination. It's about the person you'll become in the process. Each step you take makes you stronger, wiser, and more capable of handling whatever comes your way. The clearer your vision, the clearer your path becomes. And when that clarity is combined with commitment, no challenge can stand in your way. The path to fulfilling a vision is never linear. It's full of challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But commitment isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and refusing to give up. When you commit to a vision, you develop resilience. You learn to adapt, to problem solve, and to push through obstacles. You realize that setbacks are just stepping stones, not roadblocks. Commitment means staying the course even when it feels like nothing is working. It means trusting the process and believing in your ability to figure things out. Growth doesn't happen overnight, but every effort you make brings you closer to your goal. And when you stay committed, you build the mental and emotional strength necessary to push through the toughest times. Every setback becomes a lesson. Every obstacle, a new opportunity for growth. A clear vision requires clarity, but it also demands action. Too many people dream big, but do nothing to make those dreams a reality. They talk about what they want, but fail to put in the work. Commitment bridges the gap between intention and achievement. It's the difference between wishing and doing. When you commit, you take consistent, deliberate steps toward your vision. You don't wait for the perfect moment or the right circumstances. You create your own opportunities. Every action, no matter how small, compounds over time. Progress is slow, but it's unstoppable when you're consistent. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of the perfect moment, but the truth is, the perfect moment never comes. It's the small, everyday actions that build momentum and lead to breakthroughs. When you commit to your vision, you stop waiting for things to align perfectly and start making things happen. Action, even imperfect action, leads to progress. And progress is the only thing that matters in the pursuit of success. Committing to a clear vision also means holding yourself accountable. It's easy to make excuses, to blame circumstances, or to justify inaction. But excuses don't build dreams. Actions do. Accountability means taking ownership of your choices, your progress, and your results. It means being honest with yourself about what's working and what's not. It's about setting measurable goals, tracking your progress, and adjusting your approach when needed. Accountability keeps you grounded, focused, and motivated. When you take full responsibility for your vision, you stop waiting for things to change and start creating the change yourself. Accountability doesn't just mean checking off tasks on a list. It means staying true to your vision, no matter what. It's about keeping your promises to yourself and consistently making choices that move you closer to your goals. Without accountability, it's easy to let distractions and setbacks derail you. But when you hold yourself accountable, you maintain your momentum and keep pushing forward, no matter what. Your vision should inspire you, but it should also challenge you. If your vision doesn't scare you a little, it's not big enough. A clear vision pushes you out of your comfort zone. It forces you to grow, to learn, and to evolve. Commitment means embracing this discomfort. It means being willing to fail, to make mistakes, and to face uncertainty. Growth comes from taking risks, and risks come from commitment. The more you push yourself, the closer you get to your vision. And the closer you get, the more your confidence and belief in yourself grow. A clear vision doesn't just challenge you to work hard. It challenges you to become someone you've never been before. The discomfort is the catalyst for growth. It's what helps you discover new strengths, overcome fears, and unlock your potential. Embrace that discomfort because it's the only way to achieve greatness. One of the biggest obstacles to committing to a vision is the fear of failure. People hesitate to fully commit because they're afraid they won't succeed. But failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of it. Every setback, mistake, and misstep is a lesson that brings you closer to your goals. Commitment means reframing failure as feedback, as a necessary part of the journey. It means being willing to start over, to keep trying, and to persevere no matter how many times you fall. Success doesn't come from avoiding failure. It comes from refusing to quit. Failure is a natural part of the process. The fear of it holds people back. But the truth is, those who are willing to fail are the ones who succeed. Every failure teaches you something new. Every mistake is an opportunity to get better. The key is to keep going, no matter how many times you fall. Each time you get back up, you get closer to your goal. Refuse to let failure define you. Use it as fuel for your next attempt. A clear vision also requires belief. You have to believe in your ability to achieve it, even when no one else does. Doubts will come, and people will question your goals. But commitment means holding on to your vision, even in the face of criticism, skepticism, and negativity. It means trusting yourself and staying true to your purpose. The stronger your belief, the harder it is for anything or anyone to shake you. Your vision is yours, and no one else has the right to dictate what you can or cannot achieve. Belief is the foundation of commitment. If you don't believe in your vision, you won't commit to it fully. But when you truly believe, nothing can stop you. The opinions of others become irrelevant, and the obstacles you face only strengthen your resolve. When you believe in yourself, you tap into an unshakable power that propels you forward no matter what. Committing to a clear vision transforms your life. It gives you purpose, direction, and the motivation to keep moving forward. It forces you to grow, to adapt, and to overcome. It's not about having all the answers or knowing exactly how you'll get there. It's about taking the first step, then the next, and trusting the process. Commitment is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. When you commit to a clear vision, you stop living passively and start living intentionally. You take control of your life, your future, and your destiny. This transformation is not just about achieving a goal. It's about becoming the person you were always meant to be. It's about stepping into your true potential and embracing everything that comes with it. When you commit to a clear vision, you no longer sit back and wait for life to happen. You make it happen. Number 8, start small but stay steady. Starting small doesn't mean starting weak or with little potential. It means taking manageable, realistic steps that allow you to gain traction, grow, and eventually build momentum. When you think about success, you often envision it as something grand, something massive. But real success isn't built in giant leaps. It's built in small, consistent steps that gradually accumulate into something powerful. Every journey of success began with that very first step, no matter how small it seemed at the time. You don't need to see the whole picture from the start. It's okay to not have the entire path figured out. What matters is that you take that first step. The beauty of starting small lies in the ability to focus. It's the ability to put all your attention into one thing at a time and to refine your skills, gain experience, and reduce your mistakes as you progress. Small, consistent actions over time lead to big results. It's not about how fast you go, but about maintaining that steady, unyielding pace. The true test of any journey lies in how you stay steady. People get excited at the beginning of something new. But when the excitement fades and reality sets in, many people lose their momentum. The excitement fades, and that's when the grind begins. This is where most people quit. And this is where most people fail. The difference between those who succeed and those who quit lies in their ability to keep moving forward. Even when things get tough, when you commit to staying steady, no matter the obstacles, you set yourself up for long-term success. It's easy to get distracted by the fast, flashy results that seem so appealing, but those results are rarely sustainable. What really matters is consistency. That's where true success lies. Staying steady through the grind, the struggles, the tough times. This is where you gain the mental toughness and persistence that others lack. Steady progress, even if small, compounds over time. Doesn't have to be fast, just consistent. Many people fail to realize that success is not about jumping into big ventures or expecting immediate results. People want instant gratification. They want to see results now, and if they don't, they give up. Real, lasting success, however, is built slowly. It's built on the foundation of steady, consistent effort. Every small step you take, even if it doesn't feel significant at the moment, is another piece of the puzzle falling into place. Progress doesn't happen all at once, but that doesn't mean you aren't making progress. With every step you take, you're strengthening your resolve, refining your approach, and getting one step closer to your goal. It's easy to be discouraged when you don't see immediate results, but the key is to understand that small wins, no matter how insignificant they seem, are still wins. Each win builds on the last, and before long, what seemed like an impossible goal becomes something you can handle with ease. Taking small steps also allows you to maintain focus. When you have big goals and no clear path, the journey can feel daunting. It can even make you feel paralyzed, as though you're too small to even begin the journey. But when you break down that big goal into smaller, more manageable pieces, the journey becomes much more approachable. Instead of trying to accomplish everything at once, you focus on one step at a time. This prevents you from being overwhelmed by the enormity of your goal. Focus, when maintained over time, will give you the clarity to see the next move and then the next and so on. You don't have to climb the entire mountain today. You just have to focus on the next step in front of you. And that is how momentum is created. With each step, you build your confidence, your abilities, and your trust in yourself. Slowly but surely, the fear of failure fades, and you start to realize that the impossible isn't so impossible after all. The key to success isn't about moving fast or trying to achieve everything. The key to success isn't about moving fast or trying to achieve everything all at once. It's about making steady, focused progress, one step at a time. It's also important to realize that starting small doesn't mean avoiding challenges. It doesn't mean playing it safe. It's about making strategic moves, understanding your limits, and growing gradually. The beauty of taking small steps is that you don't put everything on the line at once. You get to test the waters, make mistakes, and learn from them without losing everything. It's through these small steps that you build resilience, adaptability, and mental strength. You get to understand your weaknesses, correct them, and strengthen your resolve. This process isn't just about growing in terms of skills or knowledge. It's about growing in terms of emotional and mental resilience. You learn how to face challenges head-on and come out stronger because of them. The steady approach gives you the opportunity to adjust, learn, and improve as you move forward. One of the greatest benefits of starting small is that it forces you to build discipline. Achieving big things doesn't happen overnight. You can't expect instant results, and when you commit to a steady pace, you understand this. It's a process, and a big part of that process is showing up consistently. Even on days when you're not feeling motivated, when things aren't going your way, or when the results seem slow to come, it's about sticking to the process. Discipline isn't about motivation, it's about commitment. When you build discipline, you build the muscle that keeps you moving, even when enthusiasm fades. And the more disciplined you become, the stronger your mental toughness grows. You learn to push through, to stay the course, and to keep going no matter what. The key to reaching any goal is not in the bursts of motivation, but in the consistency and discipline to keep going, even when motivation is nowhere to be found. It's the discipline that gets you from where you are to where you want to be. By starting small, you also learn the importance of focus. Without focus, your goals will remain distant dreams, and you'll waste precious time chasing things that don't matter. When you have a broad, undefined goal, it's easy to get distracted by the many things that seem appealing. But when you break your goal into smaller, actionable steps, you become laser-focused on what really matters. Every step becomes meaningful, and every action becomes a building block toward your goal. Focus helps you to eliminate distractions, to cut through the noise, and to stay on track. Without focus, you risk getting sidetracked by anything that seems shiny and promising. But with focus, you keep your eyes on the prize, and you take each step with the intention of getting closer to your goal. Focus is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. It's what keeps you grounded, keeps you moving forward, and keeps you from being swayed by distractions. It's the discipline to stick to the plan and the focus to keep pushing toward your goal. Steady progress also means keeping a long-term perspective. Success doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, and it's built on consistent action over the long haul. So many people give up when they don't see instant results. But the truth is that success doesn't come from a quick burst of energy. It comes from sustained effort. It's about putting in the work day in and day out, knowing that every small action you take today will lead to bigger rewards in the future. When you adopt a long-term perspective, you're able to look beyond the immediate difficulties and see the bigger picture. You understand that setbacks are just part of the journey, and you know that over time, the efforts you put in will pay off. Patience becomes a virtue when you realize that success is not an instant result, but a slow, gradual process that requires time and persistence. And with each step, you become closer to that end result. Staying steady also involves managing your energy wisely. You can't maintain full speed all the time. There are times when you need to rest, recharge, and reflect. Understanding that progress happens in cycles allows you to pace yourself. There will be periods of intense focus and effort, followed by times when you need to pull back and regroup. This balance ensures that you don't burn out, that you don't wear yourself down to the point of exhaustion. You need to manage your energy to sustain your progress over the long term. Rest is just as important as work, because without it, you risk burning out and losing your drive. By balancing effort with rest, you ensure that you have the stamina to keep moving forward, no matter how challenging things get. As you continue with your steady progress, you'll start to see the compounding effect of your efforts. Small, consistent actions add up over time, and you'll look back and realize how much you've achieved. Every step you take builds on the last, and eventually, you'll see the results of your efforts. The law of compounding growth means that success becomes inevitable when you commit to steady, incremental progress. Even when the results aren't immediate, keep going. Trust in the process. You may not see huge changes today, but if you keep pushing forward, you'll eventually see just how far you've come. Starting small but staying steady is about building a solid foundation. It's about creating a sustainable, long-term approach to achieving your goals. When you take small steps, you're not only saving energy, but you're also building a solid, lasting foundation for your future. Quick bursts of energy may seem appealing, but they don't last. Slow, steady progress is what endures. The key to building something meaningful is consistency, and when you commit to staying steady, you're committing to the journey. You're saying that no matter how long it takes, you will keep going. And that unwavering commitment is what will ultimately bring you to your destination. Number 9, eliminate all distractions. Eliminating distractions is the key to achieving anything you set your mind to. We live in a world full of noise, constant alerts, and people pulling us in all directions. There's always something demanding our attention. But if you want to be truly successful, you have to learn how to block out those distractions that waste your time and energy. It's not enough to just avoid distractions. Eliminating them entirely is what makes the difference. The first step in doing that is to become aware of what's distracting you. Look closely at everything that's taking up your mental and physical space. Ask yourself, what are you spending your time on that's not moving you closer to your goals? Is it social media, unhealthy relationships, a chaotic environment? Identifying the distractions is the first step in clearing them out. Once you've figured out what's wasting your time, it's time to take action and remove those distractions from your life. One of the best ways to start eliminating distractions is by setting boundaries. People who are serious about their goals know how to say no. They don't feel guilty about prioritizing their time and energy. If something doesn't align with where you want to go, don't waste your time on it. This could mean saying no to a casual conversation, a request for help, or an event you've been invited to. If it doesn't serve your goals, it doesn't deserve your attention. Saying no isn't about being rude or dismissive. It's about protecting your focus. It's about understanding that every moment you give away is a moment you'll never get back. So when you say yes, make sure it's something that's worth your time. Saying yes to everything dilutes your energy. Learn to say no to things that don't help you move forward. Another powerful way to eliminate distractions is by taking control of your environment. If your surroundings are filled with clutter, noise, or negative energy, it's almost impossible to concentrate. A clean and organized space can have a huge impact on your ability to focus. When your environment is orderly and calm, your mind can follow suit. Your surroundings directly influence your mental clarity. So make it a point to create a space that fosters productivity. Clear out the clutter. Remove anything that doesn't serve your work. Keep only the essentials close by. A tidy space promotes a tidy mind. If your environment is distracting you, take action to change it. This may mean getting rid of unnecessary items, rearranging your workspace, or eliminating sources of noise and chaos. By creating a space that encourages focus, you give yourself the best chance to work at your highest potential. Distractions can also arise from poor time management. Time is one of the most precious resources you have, and once it's gone, you can't get it back. Learning to manage your time effectively is critical in your quest to eliminate distractions. Without time management, you're left feeling disorganized and overwhelmed, making it easier for distractions to creep in. To fight back, plan your day in advance. Set clear, specific time blocks for each task and stick to them. When you know exactly what you need to do, and when you need to do it, you won't waste time bouncing from one task to another. When you don't have a plan, distractions run wild. But when you structure your time, you put yourself in control. Use tools like calendars, task lists, and time tracking apps to stay on track. Break larger tasks into smaller, manageable steps to avoid feeling overwhelmed. Every moment you spend thinking about what to do next is a moment wasted. So plan ahead and stick to the plan. Time management isn't just about scheduling tasks. It's also about focusing on one thing at a time. Multitasking might seem like a time saver, but it's actually a productivity killer. When you switch between tasks, you waste time and energy. Focus on one task and give it your full attention. The more focused you are on a single task, the quicker you'll finish it and move on to the next. When you concentrate on one thing, your mind is sharp and your work is more efficient. Multitasking is a distraction that prevents you from doing your best work. Stop trying to juggle everything at once, and instead, dedicate your full energy to one task at a time. With each task, commit to seeing it through to completion before moving on to the next. Another major source of distraction is your own mind. It's easy to get lost in your thoughts. Self-doubt, anxiety, and overthinking can pull you away from the task at hand. If you want to stay focused, you need to learn how to manage your thoughts. One effective strategy is practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness techniques like meditation can help you clear your mind and regain your focus. When you take time each day to center yourself, you create mental space that allows you to block out the distractions. Meditation helps you become aware of your thoughts without letting them control you. It allows you to refocus when your mind starts wandering, keeping you grounded in the present moment. You'll become better at pushing aside distractions and staying locked into what's important. The more you practice mindfulness, the more natural it will become to block out irrelevant thoughts and focus on what truly matters. Social media is one of the biggest distractions in the modern world. The constant stream of notifications, updates, and messages can pull you away from what you're doing in an instant. Social media is designed to grab your attention and keep you hooked, but you don't have to let it control your life. Set boundaries with social media. Turn off notifications for apps that you don't need to check constantly. You don't need to be online all the time. In fact, Limiting your time on social media can have a dramatic impact on your productivity and mental clarity. Set specific times each day to check your accounts, and outside of those times, keep your focus where it matters most. By creating boundaries with social media, you stop it from hijacking your focus. Another huge distraction comes from the people around you. Everyone wants your attention. But if you don't set clear boundaries, you'll find yourself constantly pulled away from your work. While it's important to nurture relationships, you also need to prioritize your own needs. If people constantly distract you during your work hours, it might be time to have a conversation with them. Let them know when you need to focus and why it's important. Be upfront about your goals and how they require your full attention. People who care about you will respect your boundaries, but it's up to you to establish those boundaries. Don't feel guilty about it. You can still maintain relationships while being laser focused on your success. A great technique for eliminating distractions is working in focused intervals. This method is known as the Pomodoro technique, where you work in short focused bursts, usually 25 minutes, followed by a short break. This approach keeps you sharp and prevents burnout. It's much easier to stay focused for a short time than it is for hours on end. Plus, taking regular breaks helps to refresh your mind and keep your energy levels high. This technique also encourages you to avoid multitasking. Trying to do multiple things at once can leave you scattered and unproductive. Instead, focus on one task at a time, give it your full attention, and complete it before moving on to the next. Mindful energy management is another crucial factor in eliminating distractions. You can't expect to stay focused and productive if you're physically drained or mentally exhausted. Take care of your body and mind. Get enough sleep, eat healthy, and exercise regularly. When you take care of yourself, your mind is clearer and your energy is more abundant. A tired mind is much more prone to distractions. Make sure to give yourself time to recharge by taking breaks when you need them. You're not a machine. You're a human being. You need rest, recovery, and balance to be at your best. Stay in tune with your body and listen to when it needs a break. Only then will you be able to eliminate distractions effectively and stay on top of your goals. Sometimes the root of your distractions may lie in deeper emotional issues. If you find yourself constantly distracted, it's worth asking why. Are you avoiding a task because it's difficult or uncomfortable? Are you afraid of failure? Distractions can often be a coping mechanism for fear, procrastination, or anxiety. If you're procrastinating, take a step back and examine the underlying cause. Once you face your fears and work through them, you'll find that it's much easier to stay focused and eliminate distractions. The more you address these underlying issues, the fewer distractions you'll encounter. Recognize the real problem, confront it, and move past it. At the end of the day, eliminating distractions is about taking control of your life. You are the one in charge of your time, your environment, and your mental focus. Distractions are inevitable, but they don't have to control you. By setting clear boundaries, managing your time and energy, and eliminating external and internal distractions, you create a life that's focused on what truly matters. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Every action you take to eliminate distractions is a step toward achieving your dreams. When you stay focused, when you protect your time, when you commit to eliminating everything that pulls you away from your goals, you're setting yourself up for success. Success doesn't just happen by chance. It happens because you made the conscious choice to remove the distractions that were holding you back. Focus on what matters. Cut out what doesn't. The clearer your vision, the sharper your focus, the more you'll achieve. Number 10, discipline over feelings. Discipline is a force that shapes your future. It's the key to achieving long-term success. While feelings and motivation may vary, discipline is always constant. It's what separates the winners from the losers, the achievers from the dreamers. Your emotions will not always guide you in the right direction. There will be days when you don't feel like working, exercising, or even getting out of bed. But that's when discipline becomes essential. It doesn't care about your feelings, it cares about your future. It forces you to act when you'd rather not. It forces you to move forward, regardless of how you feel in the moment. Discipline is about doing what's necessary, not what's comfortable. When you don't feel like doing something, discipline steps in and pushes you to keep going. It doesn't matter if you're tired, frustrated, or feeling lazy. Discipline tells you that the work still needs to be done, and you are the only one who can do it. The reality is that your feelings will often mislead you. They will tell you that you deserve a break or that you've worked enough for today. Your emotions will tell you that it's okay to skip the workout or delay that project for another day. But if you listen to those feelings, you'll never move forward. You'll stay stuck in a cycle of procrastination and self-doubt. Real growth comes when you make the decision to ignore those temporary emotions and focus on the bigger picture. Discipline is the ability to push through the feelings of fatigue, doubt, and fear. It's the ability to do what needs to be done, even when every part of you wants to quit. That's where true progress lies. Consistency is another pillar of discipline. Discipline isn't about doing something extraordinary once in a while. It's about showing up every single day. It's about putting in the work no matter what. Most people can do something great for a short period, but it's consistency that makes all the difference. If you want to see real progress, you need to make discipline a habit. You need to do the things that are necessary for success every day. It doesn't matter if you don't feel like it, you do it anyway. Consistency compounds. Small actions taken every day lead to massive results over time. Every time you show up, every time you push past your feelings, you're one step closer to your goals. Discipline turns these small actions into big results. It's easy to give in to the temptation of instant gratification, especially in today's world. Everything is available at the touch of a button. We live in a world where we can get anything we want right now. But success doesn't work like that. True success requires sacrifice and patience. Discipline is about delaying gratification. It's about understanding that the rewards will come later, after the work has been done. The people who achieve greatness are the ones who are willing to put in the effort now, even if they can't see the results immediately. They don't care about the instant rewards. They're focused on what's to come. Discipline allows you to stay on track, even when you don't see the immediate results. It's about knowing that the work you're doing now will pay off later and trusting the process. One of the most important aspects of discipline is accountability. You have to hold yourself accountable, no matter what. If you don't have anyone else pushing you, then you must be your own source of motivation. When you make a commitment to yourself, you need to follow through. It doesn't matter if you don't feel like it. Discipline is about doing the work, regardless of your mood. If you're not accountable to yourself, then who will be? Nobody's going to make you get out of bed and work on your goals. Nobody is going to hold your hand and walk you through the tough days. You are the only one responsible for your success. Discipline is about setting clear expectations for yourself and living up to them every day. You can't let yourself off the hook just because things are hard. That's the moment discipline steps in and pushes you to keep going. There will be times when life throws obstacles in your way. You'll face challenges, setbacks, and failures. These are the times when discipline truly shines. When everything goes wrong, your feelings will try to convince you to give up. They'll tell you that it's too hard and that you should quit. Discipline tells you to keep moving. It reminds you that setbacks are just part of the journey. The people who succeed aren't the ones who never face challenges. They're the ones who keep going when everything seems impossible. Discipline allows you to keep pushing, even when it feels like nothing is working. It's about maintaining your focus on the end goal, no matter what life throws your way. Another important aspect of discipline is learning to say no. You can't say yes to everything. You have to be selective with your time and energy. Discipline is about setting boundaries and sticking to them. It's about saying no to distractions, unhealthy habits, and people who don't contribute to your growth. Your time and energy are limited, and you can't afford to waste them on things that won't help you get closer to your goals. Discipline helps you make better choices about how you spend your time. It helps you prioritize what truly matters and say no to the things that don't. Saying no isn't always easy, but it's necessary for progress. When you say yes to something that doesn't align with your goals, you're saying no to your future. Discipline helps you make decisions that move you forward, not backwards. Discipline also builds momentum. When you show up every day, even when you don't feel like it, you start to build momentum. Momentum is what makes things easier. The more disciplined you become, the more automatic it becomes. It's like a snowball effect. The more you push through your feelings and stay consistent, the easier it becomes to keep going. The work doesn't feel as hard. You start to develop a rhythm, and things begin to flow. Discipline builds momentum, and momentum makes everything easier. Once you've built momentum, it's much harder to stop. You've created a routine, and it becomes part of who you are. Discipline makes it possible to keep going without thinking about it too much. Mental toughness is another byproduct of discipline. When you learn to control your emotions and push through tough times, you build mental toughness. Discipline helps you develop resilience. It helps you stay focused on your goals, even when the going gets tough. The more disciplined you become, the stronger your mind gets. Mental toughness is the ability to keep going, even when everything tells you to quit. It's about staying calm under pressure and handling adversity without falling apart. Mental toughness is developed through discipline. Every time you choose to act despite your feelings, you're building mental toughness. It's about trusting yourself and your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Ultimately, discipline is the foundation of all success. It's the driving force behind everything you achieve. Without discipline, everything else falls apart. Motivation fades, feelings change, But discipline remains. Discipline is what keeps you going when you don't feel like it. It's what keeps you focused on the long-term goals when everything else seems more appealing. Discipline doesn't care about how you feel. It cares about your future. When you choose discipline, you take control of your life. You decide what you want, and you do whatever it takes to get it. You don't rely on motivation, emotions, or feelings to dictate your actions. You rely on discipline to get you through the hard times and to help you achieve your dreams.